Oh. Okay.
Aren't you happy, Di? We're talking about a good series for once.
Are we? I don't know, sounds fishy. You're not making that up.
Well, because with what this series is, whole thriller murder mystery thing, obvious spoilers are obvious, so might want to bounce before any of that shit happens. I say that up front because I know someone out there's like, you spoiled that!
You spoiled this 3-year-old anime!
Well, almost 5-year-old in Weebanese land.
I was gonna watch it eventually, someday.
Says the person who just watched it now. But yes, long story short, I'm sure everyone's out there has heard, oh, blah blah, ending's mixed. Yeah, I can agree with that, but is it worth crapping on an anime for one episode that might be a little meh to 11 really good episodes? Go watch the show. It's still really worth it.
If you want to watch something really bad, just ask him. He's a master of dumpsters.
No! No more Gilgamesh!
No one said Gilgamesh.
When you say shit anime, my mind immediately goes to that. You don't know.
In fact, people are told you no, don't do that.
Well, someone recommended it, and I had to do the recommendation that time. That was the theme. Anyway, we're here with Erased, or, oh, I'm gonna butcher this, Bokudeki ga Inai Maki.
Yeah. Don't quit your day job.
Which translates to The Town Where Only I Am Missing. And that title makes way more sense for those who've seen the anime or read the manga. It's a manga written by Kei Sanbe. And ran for 8 volumes across 44 chapters, with each chapter being monthly, making it twice as long as your typical shonen one.
Which is why it's only 12 episodes.
Damn it, A1 Pictures.
Why do you have to suck?
So, yeah, the manga ran from 2012 to March of 2016, where of course the anime would air from January to March of that year. Meaning if they just waited till April, did a 24-episode adaptation instead, they could have probably adapted this correctly.
But it's A1. What if they ever done that?
I don't know. How would you feel to know that this series didn't just have 1, but 2 live-action adaptations?
Okay.
Oh, you see, it had a movie in Japan that came out at the same time as the anime for some reason. So if you thought the anime condensed stuff, well, how would you feel about a 90-minute film?
Yeah.
And then there's the Netflix live-action series, which I guess is okay.
Netflix.
Not now, Die. Look, we all know Netflix is burning right now in public opinion, but let's just ignore that.
And it is hilarious.
I can't argue, but... So yeah, as far as live-action Erased on Netflix, it's okay. Funnily enough, it does follow the manga closer, but the anime is more entertaining, even though it's filler-esque. So if you just want to go for that...
But all fillers are bad.
Okay, I'm not gonna lie, I do not. I can understand the final episode being lackluster to a lot of people, especially after looking into the manga. It is one of those...
Who looks into a manga?
Yeah, I don't... I feel like if it had just 1 more episode, they could have done it a lot better, too. Even if they wanted to go the filler route. But alright. So, I'm sure most of you know the story. Follow Satoru, 29-year-old dude that has the ability to go back in time, and goes back to when he was a kid to solve a string of murders, to save the life of his mom or whatever. And this anime, the director behind it is one of the people who directed the Death Note anime, which probably explains why it feels very similar to Death Note. But hey, Di, what about the animation? Was it shit? Because we just saw P5.
Well, comparatively, that's no contest. Like, you see, P5 is what we call minimal or no effort. Then, Seven Deadly Sins was...
Fuck you, Studio Dean.
Talking about Studio Deans, animation.
Hey, your exact words when Irie punches someone in the face in this anime were that it was better animated than most of the attack stuff from P5.
Yeah. That was just a punch to the face.
Which, yes, that is one thing the anime improves on, because in the manga it's just a bitch slap. Same in the live-action series. Point to you, anime.
About characters without even introducing them first. I mean, what?
We're going to get there. Hey, we said spoilers ahead, since we gotta reveal who the killer is in order to talk about their dub performance.
Star Wars.
What? I guess Star Wars was killed the last few years, yes.
Yeah.
But hey, the soundtrack! I know you didn't have this problem, but I did. The entire anime, I just kept thinking, why does this sound like music I've heard from fucking SAO? It literally sounds like unused tracks from that anime. Oh, it's the same composer, that makes sense. I kept thinking that the whole show, because literally half the tracks in this anime I feel like were recycled in the current season of that.
Oh, putting effort into animation and stuff pointlessly. Yeah, that sounds like SAO.
I'm gonna have to cover that series at some point.
Have fun with that.
But hey, the soundtrack's decent in this, right? One of the good things about SAO too. But without dragging this on any longer, I guess let's get to Dubster Dive. Let's talk about the dub.
Yeah.
So the anime aired in 2016 in January. So in 2017 in January, Aniplex would put out Blu-rays for this anime with a dub. Now, again, I do really like this show, but one has to ask, is it worth $200 fucking dollars? Aniplex, eat a dick.
It is.
Like, come on, why do they do that shit? Also, I have to mention, it's funny, the anime dub just went on Netflix 2 weeks ago, when they did the live-action series 3 years ago. How much fucking sense does that make?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Well, hey, we got Satoru, voiced by Ben Diskin! You know, Daibon!
Eric Sparrow, indeed.
Well, that's at least relevant since Tony Hawk HD just came out.
If you ever see him at a con, bring that up to him. I'm sure he'll love you for it.
Tony Hawk Underground was amazing, and you know it. But hey, it's nice to talk about him in a decent show, where you could tell he had a lot of fun. I mean, he had a lot of fun as Bond, too, but that still didn't save Sins, now did it?
Well, of course Bond couldn't save Sins, he was written off the show. But enough about that.
Well, after him, we have young Satoru, voiced by Michelle Ruff, or Rukia from Bleach. Because Bleach is all that matters, right, Dai?
Yeah, sure.
Fine, Yukari from Persona 3.
But no one's mostly nobody plays Persona 3 because you're debutantes who only play 4 or 5.
That's honestly not their fault. That's Atlas's. What are the ones they keep re-releasing? Exactly.
Oh, you rant about Atlas enough on a regular basis?
Fuck Atlas. Anyway, Michelle Ruff again. It's a great job here. It's Michelle Ruff. How could you not think so?
We've seen an anime in the past 10 years, you've probably heard her in it.
I'd say even from the 90s.
Well,
yeah, she's been voicing all the way back then.
From LA, at least.
Been voicing in Gundam and all that shit from back then.
Shut up, you filthy debutante. Go watch G.
The Street Fighter character?
No, we're not talking about Okumura.
Well, next we have Kaio, voiced by Stephanie Sheh. Speaking of VAs, I'm sure everyone's heard.
Before.
Hey, it's Kyrie from DMC, who didn't even get her model in 5.
Yeah, that Ari engine.
Fine, or Hime from Bleach. Speaking of Bleach. Oreka from Oreka 7?
Guys, he's real subtle about it. He might be a huge Bleach mark. I don't think you can tell.
Okay, fine. I'll scar you even more. Ben Diskin, remember, he's Xylapero Grant. If you want to see him go all fellatio on his weapon, go watch that instead. Now while you all think about that... What?
No, I got nothing.
But hey, Kaio talked about a character with a fucked up backstory, and Stephanie Sheh was able to deliver on her performance with that. Yeah, the theme with this dub is, unlike P5, where we kept complaining about stupid shit, this dub is actually really, really good.
I mean, it was the ad voices that killed P5.
And the filters.
And the filters. And
the fact that those characters had to say the same shit like 10 times because we've heard it before in P5 and P5R. So it just sounded like they gave better... Honestly, it sounded like they gave better performance in the games, but that's neither here nor there.
But that's due to how games are told differently from anime. It's a whole thing. You have to be there for it.
Well, after Kaio, we have Satoru's mom, Sachiko, voiced by Sarah Cravens, or Frost from MK11.
Oh, let's just come back to another realm. You love them so much.
I mean, it's probably the most recent thing I've heard her in, but hearing her in an anime dub, the fuck?
No, well, okay, no, you haven't done it yet.
Yeah, that's next. But for Sachiko, she's the one everyone voted to be best mom in an anime. I mean, with how much she trolls Satoru, it is kind of amazing.
I mean, with how many shitty moms are in anime, it's not like it's much of a victory.
Well, with how many times protags don't even have a mom in anime.
Or parents, for that matter.
And no, that's not because they're Batman, either.
Everything has to come back to Batman.
Because of Batman. But hey,
sulk off into the night.
This is one of those VAs that I wouldn't mind hearing more in anime, but I don't think they've been in any sense erased. At least I haven't heard them in anything recently from what I could think of.
Except MK11.
Yeah, but I'm talking about anime-wise. After that, we have Yashiro, voiced by David Collins, or Proxy from The Force Unleashed, as well as ad voices and even the modern Disney Star Wars movies. What the fuck?
I told you. LucasArts. It's whole thing. Something about working as the audio engineer and
Well,
voice
this
director.
is... Yeah, and gotta be honest, he definitely gave a great performance here, too.
Would you like some candy?
Yeah, that, of course. Where he acts like the caring teacher, then he acts all crazy. And then even when he changes his name as, you know, and becomes... politician, that's right. Yeah, he actually did a decent job giving himself an older voice since it had been like 15 plus years.
I mean, he's been doing alien voices in Star Wars, so I think he's fine.
He's another one I would love to hear in anime more too, but I don't see that happening with how he's, well, in everything Star Wars.
I mean, he was just in One Punch Man.
We don't talk about Season 2 or the game, Dai. We don't do that here.
Fine, Alicization.
Oh, fair enough.
So he's probably going to be in more of this, right?
Well, yeah, this is one of those things where I really wish A1 didn't shit the bed and just gave this the proper adaptation it deserves, because would have loved to hear some of Yashiro's other moments.
Classic A1.
Yeah. And I think it would have been interesting hearing him have to go on about his backstory of his full motive, which was cut from the anime, but left in the manga in live action. Would have loved to hear this voice actor have to spout all that awkward shit.
Yeah, that sounds real awkward.
For those who don't know, I'd suggest looking it up. It's really fucked up. And explains why he became a serial killer in the first place. And no, doesn't condone it in any way, shape, or form before anyone's like, what are you? No. I just said it gives a reason to it.
Yeah.
But, sadly, half his scenes were cucked from the ending. Because we had to rush. But after him, we have Kenya, voiced by Erica Mendez. Erica Mendez, Dai, your friend. You are.
Yes, yeah, she's never been on anything ever. Yes, I know. I got you, Aaron from Fiery Fencer.
Or she was in The Eighth Son. Anyone remember that show?
Or like, unlike a lot of the other ones we joked about, literally anything you watch, whether it's Texas or California based, they'll probably be in it.
Man, this kind of the interesting things with this dub is it literally has, like, again, A-listers from fucking Star Wars and Mortal Kombat. Then you have VAs from the last generation, like Michelle Ruff and Ben Diskin. And then you have some of the newer Vuz that I guess would be considered, like, from the generation before, from, like, 2011 to now, with Erica Mendez. Several generations of Vuz. Speaking of which, we have Hiromi, voiced by Christine Marie Cabanos. Why does she keep appearing in these dubs? It's your fault, Dai.
You're the one that picks these shows.
I forgot she was in this too till we rewatched it, or till I rewatched it, I guess.
Classic denial.
Whatever. Her and Erica Mendez do a great job. Speaking of Erica Mendez, real quick, before we move on from that. Is this one of the only other times she does her deeper, I guess, Shota voice? Because I kept thinking of Nagi's stuff from Danganronpa. That was the only one I could think of off the top of my head.
I'm sure there are more, but she's, like we said, literally so much. You probably have to look it up.
Yeah, Christine Marie Cabanos does again, usual decent job. This another character I heard got some of their screen time nuked in the anime adaptation. Don't know how true that one is though.
As you do with a 12-episode anime.
Well, after her, we have Kazu, the other member of their friends group, voiced by Bobby Thumb. I don't mean to laugh at that name, I'm sorry. But everyone knows I'm kind of a dick.
Yeah.
Well, hey, he was in Hunter x Hunter as one of the Chimera Ants. And this character had some hilarious moments. I mean, how awkward did he make everything?
As awkward as you usually make things.
It's not very nice. Anyway, it's another voice actor I see getting used more in the future. At least I'd be surprised if he doesn't. Fine. Next is Osamu, voiced by Ryan Bartley. Or, probably more recently, Mai from Death and Request 2.
I mean, that's more than just recently.
That game's barely a couple weeks old.
That's about as recent as we can get right now.
Hey, she voiced Ray in Netflix's dub of Avon Jellyfish.
Okay.
She voiced the Chimera Ant King's waifu in Hunter x Hunter?
But are you avoiding ReZero?
I was doing it to be a dick until you said something, yes. But fine. Rom from ReZero. Actually, I think this is the only show that I've heard her voice too. Unless you've got any you could think of.
Sinbad.
From Magi? Fair enough.
From the thing that Netflix thought, hey, let's adapt a spin-off of this. Fuck a season 3.
Classic Netflix.
Or find, I guess, would be the whatever.
Well, after her, we have Irie, voiced by Jeremy Lee, another VA that's in everything.
Sounds
This
like
character really got a raw
job of picking things.
Yeah, this character got a raw deal in the anime. I mean, yeah, a lot of her key moments are still there, but I mean, a lot of her earlier scenes where her Satru's development were seen were completely cut from the anime adaptation. And also in the climax where she plays a much more major role. But otherwise, she does a great job with what she's given, as she usually does, but she's still fucking everywhere. I mean, I bet she's gonna be in any anime that's coming up now. Hell, she's in Black Clover as it is. See what you did, Dai?
What did you do?
Alright, let's move on to Yuki, voiced by Max Middleman. Hey, we got Makoto from P5, now we got Ryuji. We're gonna get any others from P5? I mean, we had Christine Rikabanis, we have Shio. Ben Diskin wasn't in P5, was he? Shit.
No.
Well, Yuki or Max Middleman. Again, another character. He didn't have as much screen time, but I think he did alright with what he was given. Especially since they said Yuki has that awkward stuttering in the anime. You got to hear Max do that a few times. He got to do Agnes speak from DMC4.
Are fine. I guess Ryan with add voices in P5R close enough.
Shit. Yeah, see, it's P5. Well, next to one Irie punched in the face, Takahashi, voiced by Kyle Hebert, speaking of P5.
You may know him from existing.
He's everywhere too.
Probably more so than some of the other ones at this point.
I think I'm surprised by the most by the fact he's barely been in ad voice in this show. Usually when they have him as someone, they put him into like a million different ad voices.
The ad voices were honestly tame compared to a lot of LA dubs.
Yeah. I mean, there were a few Kirk Thorntons. I think there was like 4 of them. He was probably the worst one.
For whatever reason, he's listed as a fucking worthwhile character, despite the fact that he says only one line as Max's death.
Yeah, and it's because in the manga that character is one of the ones used as a red herring, where it makes you think. It legit does a good job making you believe he's the killer for like several chapters.
Yeah. It's like for whatever reason, the people on behind the voice is saying, huh, let's list this as a notable character. What's his name? So-and-so's died. Okay.
Well, I guess we could mention Kenya's grown-up voice actor being Xander Mobus. There we go, there's P5.
Yeah.
Actually, with Kenya growing up to be an attorney, I could imagine Xander being Edgeworth at some point in Phoenix Wright. Actually, yeah, and then there's Hiromi's grown-up version, voiced by Kyle McCarley. Again, someone we've talked about numerous times before here, too. He's in High School Girl! He's everyone's favorite character, because he was fucking hilarious in that.
Yeah.
Actually, now that I think about it, you don't see Kazu or Osamu post-time skip, do you? You know, his other friends from that group, it's only these two and Kaio.
You see them, you don't hear them
the
talking.
epilogue.
You see them in the epilogue montage, I think. Because ending things with a montage is how the stuff
I feel like
happened.
the director of the anime wanted to do so much more with it, but was limited to time constraints. Because episodes 1 through 10, yeah, they skipped a lot, but it was still decently paced enough to work. And then you get to the last, it's like, hey, you gotta wrap this up. Oh, shit!
Oh, fuck. Hey, by the way, do you speak Russian?
What?
Guys, we gotta rush this shit.
Well, hey, let's talk about a character that wasn't listed on the cast list. You know, the one he saved in the hospital, Kumi. Voiced by Brianna Knickerbocker. Hey, another 7 Deadly Sins character. She only had one line in this anime, even though that character plays a massive significant role in the latter, like, half of the manga. Yeah. Or at least final third of it, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
Like, holy shit, anime. But hey, I guess we could be here all day listing off literally everyone else. For some reason, the cast list says guest starring DC Douglas, and I have no idea why he gets special mention.
What? He wasn't he just that doctor?
He was the doctor. It's like, what do you mean guest starring? I think, like, Yashiro's VA or Sachiko's would be more famous.
Oh, hey, we got 2 Resident Evil people up in here, then.
We do?
Sawada.
Oh, yeah. I guess we should mention him. Another character. He at least had a decent amount of screen time comparatively. Sawada, voiced by John DeMita. He's from Resident Evil Vendetta. We gotta talk about those animated movies at some point.
Loves.
I mean, he gave a decent performance here. It's another character that you could tell had way more screen time in the manga. I mean... yeah. This dub, though, as much as we bitch about the anime cucking a lot of things, is still really top-notch and definitely recommended. The ADR director for it was Alex Von David, who apparently ADR directed Anohana and Your Lie in April. Which I heard were really good. Though I haven't watched them yet. It should also be noted, I think this is the one actual anime dub I've heard the word retard said in an actual dub script, and I'm talking about like in the modern, like last few years, because I know people are going to bring up ghost stories. But this is an actual serious dub.
This isn't a fuck it, let's say whatever dub.
Yeah. So the fact that they said that is, whenever you hear it, is still surprising. Like, whoa. Because that's the type of word, if you say, people will shit on you for it and think you're some sort of monster.
I mean, why did you just say the person that said it? We haven't been over them yet.
Sachiko's mom? I'm not Sachiko's mom, Kaio's mom, yeah. Shut up.
Same thing.
They weren't even listed on the cast list. Who the fuck voiced them? No, I'm serious. I couldn't find them.
Are you being serious?
Yes! I could not find them.
You know exactly who they are?
Well then why don't you enamor everyone? I've said everyone else's names up till now. Even though they're not listed. What?
Because it's your job to try to not butcher names.
You're such a dick.
Yeah.
Okay, fine. You can at least say one thing they voiced in. Bring it back to something that's been a theme here. Sins, Persona, what?
Oh, they were in Persona. In fact, you forgot to mention them.
Okay, there
Something
you go.
about twins.
Yes, Carrie Karanen was in Persona. She's Lavenza. Or Justine and Caroline. I know people are going to be like, why didn't you bring them up in P5? Same reason we didn't bring up a lot of characters in P5 in the animation. They amounted to very little. You know, it's weird praising her as Akemi or Kaio's mom, saying, you did a great job voicing a cunt and a horrible human being. You deserve a pat on the back.
You do a good job voicing a serial killer. Keep it off. More, you mean like that?
Yeah, exactly. But yes, she did a great job, especially doing the whole drunken slur thing whenever she spoke. I'm sure you heard that too.
Yeah.
And again, she was the one that said everyone's favorite word in this script too, so I'm sure she had real fun. I wonder how awkward it would be if someone showed up and asked her to sign this, said you did a great job in this role.
You're talking about an industry where people ask you, hey, could you sign this roll of toilet paper? This is the only thing I could bring.
Fair point. But, yeah. Overall, great dub. Some of these characters could have been given a lot more if this show were longer. Like we said, we highly recommend it, even though the final episode is a bit underwhelming comparatively with how Yashiro just gets caught almost immediately. I mean, they condensed 2 full manga volumes into 20 minutes. Sounds like that is a bad idea.
Yeah. And who would do such a thing? Just look at who did this. Oh.
Damn it, A1 Pictures. No, but seriously, between their mandate of getting 100 chapters of 7 Deadly Sins in per season, Persona 5 being condensed to 26 episodes, let's not even get started on what they did to Black Butler by thorizing it just to backpedal and go back and make canon material again. They did the same thing with Blue Exorcist. Yeah, exactly.
And like Blue Exorcist, I mean, the filler ending's not bad, but the fact that they backpedal... Yeah...
No, we'll get to Blue Exorcist eventually. Oh, and I'm sure we need to address the elephant in the room. The whole shipping fandom with Erased, and him not getting with Kaio. Look, guys... He has...
Shippers are the worst like that.
I mean... The only thing I'm confused about is why the fuck did she end up with Hiromi? They barely interacted.
If at all.
It'd make more sense for her to get with Kenya.
I mean...
Because he was one that also helped save her back then.
18669, save you.
But aside from that, Satoru already has a ship with Airi. The problem is, most of Airi's moments in the near end of the manga were cut, which is probably why people were still bitching about the Satoru Kaio ship. Though it is hilarious seeing people try coming up with the term coma cuck. I kinda want to use that now, just to be a dick. But yeah, honestly, we're not mad about the ship. That's... no. You can't expect Kaio to realistically wait 15 years for Satoru to wake up from his coma.
Besides, you should hate shippers like that anyways. You know all about it being a Bleach fan.
I think shippers are like that with any shonen, though.
I don't know, that sounded pretty bad.
Naruto shippers did the same thing, man.
Yeah. But Naruto's already suffered enough with all that filler.
But, yeah, I still don't get why it's called Erased. I've been trying to figure that out this whole time. Erasing what?
Erasing the shipping community from existence.
That's not very nice.
Or at least those ones.
But hey, at least there's rumors of a Season 2 coming next year from A1. How? Guys, the anime's almost 5 years old. It's okay, just do an FMA Brotherhood style remake and start from square one.
No, that makes sense.
The only thing I could see them realistically doing is if they instead ignored the last 2 episodes and did it where he woke up from the coma and adapt the final third of the manga that way. And made that the 12 episodes. That's the only way I could see them fixing this somewhat. Then people wouldn't be able to say, oh, the climax is lackluster. It's like, okay, well then just go watch the Season 2, I guess. I mean, hell, in their version, the whole thing about his time rewind thing, or as he calls it, revival, not working anymore isn't even mentioned. Which it's implied the reason is because he's on the right timeline now, since he stopped the trauma of his past that he was ignoring.
He's a right-sider.
Exactly! He is a right-sider. Anyway, despite our misgivings with this anime, or mine in particular with the ending, I'll still give this anime a solid B to B+. It's still worth watching. Again, one episode is not going to ruin the whole thing, in my opinion.
Yeah. If you complain about the ending being filler, you have yet to truly see the worst filler, then.
Although, Yashido does seem like kind of an idiot in the final episode, I'm not gonna lie. And yes, Kaio being the one to awaken his memories doesn't make sense. Which is why in every other adaptation they made it Airi.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Well, that one actually does make sense, so that meme doesn't work.
It works perfectly well. You're playing Street Fighter, it makes sense.
That and also this anime doesn't have any red hairs to it either, unlike the manga. So... Actually, when did you predict that it was Yashiro? What, was it the candy?
Yeah. A little bit before the candy, but yeah, but the candy is like... Does anyone else not see the giant red flashing light?
Yeah, the one that's also the thing with the anime is Satoru's mom Sachiko was not there in the manga, so it makes Satoru the one out to be an idiot. Whereas Sachiko, you figured, would have picked up on it immediately since she's shown to be highly intelligent.
Oh, and it's implied they're investigating someone early on with that conversation with Sawada.
Yeah, because her being there during that scene was anime only.
I mean, it could have been a thing where she just ignored it, just not to spook him away. That wouldn't be unrealistic to say it that way.
I guess. But hey, if anyone's wondering if the anime's worth $200, well, I don't know, it's up to you, because that is a lot of fucking money for just a 12-episode series.
Or you could get on Netflix. I'm sure the prices will be cheaper now that it's burning.
Damn it, Netflix, why? Oh. Well, so we don't drag this out anymore. I guess that's it. But let us know what you thought of Erased. Did you guys like it? Or not? And I'd recommend the live action if it wasn't for the fact that its English dub is... No. Netflix, you could have at least gotten the VAs from the anime to reprise their roles.
Man,
they did that with Bleach.
To get Ben Diskin in something.
I mean, they did that with the Bleach adaptation, which actually came out the same year as their adaptation of this. So, what the hell happened there? So I just suggest watching the anime and then going from there and reading the manga. Probably be your best bet. Because the live-action series has the issue of, let's rush the anime's thing all the way just to get to the climax and adapt it properly. It's like, okay, great, you adapted the climax better and properly, but because of that, you basically shat on the anime and what it covered.
Yeah, sounds about right.
But, anyway, let us know if there's anything you want us to cover. But speaking of Netflix, coming up, we got Dragon's Dogma!
Oh. I've got Dragonheart.
How's Netflix gonna screw this one up? I'm sure it won't be too bad. Well, till next time, guys. Thanks again for...
At worst, it could end up... At the worst, it could possibly be, as I say...
C for cock.
Possibly. Unless they secretly hire Dean to do it. Then it'll be an elf.
Fuck you, Studio Dean. Oh, the last thing before I quickly address it. I saw people claiming this was the best sci-fi anime ever made. I don't know if I'd go that far. Like I said, it's sitting somewhere around a beta to beta plus for me personally, but there are people saying it's leagues better than something like Steins Gate or any other sci-fi or sci-fi anime in history.
But that's what Fan Wars will do.
Well, the thing that Steins Gate already succeeds in already being 24 plus episodes comparatively, so it has enough time to develop everyone. If this did get 24 eps, then I'd be like, okay, you know, I could think on that and debate it myself.
Yeah, but Steins Gate also has a disadvantage of being a VN.
This was a manga. Should have been 24 eps, man.
Exactly, but manga can get away with being shorter animes and some cases.
I'd
How
put this.
many?
I don't know. I'd put this above Steins Gate 0, definitely, but still below the OG Steins Gate. But we're
Oh
dragging this
man.
on. Don't want this to be an hour long. Probably already is.
Oh man, Steins Gate 0.
No, that'll get its own episode at some point, I'm sure. Anyway, thank you all for watching. So till next time, let us know what you thought of Erased. So, till next time. Bye!